wheels, stance, color, and attitude, they are to rate. So here's the show coverage. Again, I filmed a little early. The tables were not full, but I felt that if I didn't do it early, number one, I wouldn't get it done, and number two, it would just get too crowded. So again, just a kind of a generalization of what was there. This thing was cool. This Superbird, I guess it's Daytona. That's a Daytona, isn't it? That thing was tiny. That's what he started with, and it had a lot of detail on it. I couldn't believe it for the scale. He had it all detailed out. It was pretty cool. I'm really bouncing around here a little bit, aren't I? I thought I'd been a little bit slower, but that was pretty cool. So I like that. So here, what do we got here? Showroom stock. Again, the Moon Eyes Volkswagens. That was pretty cool. Nice Camaro Z28. Nice Ford Mustang. Let's see what else we got here. He always has a nice display. The guy that does the Moon Eyes stuff. Datsun, that was pretty nice. Again, I don't know what some of these exotic cars are. That might be Matthews from MCV Products, that old time car. There's Bob Downey's multicolored Porsche that he just did. That's pretty cool. That's all hand masks. That's crazy. More exotics. Again, I don't know what some of these are. But the Jaguar was nice. Ford pickups. A couple Corvettes coming up. Nice display. Very well done. The quality here this year was just... everything was nice. It's just incredible. Nice Bronco. That was pretty cool. Jaguar. 69. I guess I'm too close to that. What we got here? A Mopar. Back here's a Herbie. Corvette. I think that's Marcos Cruz Corvette, that green one. It was pretty cool. Lots of exotic cars. That's pretty cool. That might be Marcos also. That Corvette was nice. Of course, people are still setting up. Like I said, I filmed this pretty early. But that was really nice. I got one of these. That's the one I'm making the bucks for the windshields. I think he bought his as a kid. That was very, very nice. In fact, I think I was one of the award winners. That GTO, I think he got that with a complete kit. And it came with windows. Nice bugs. A little snow. I don't know how it didn't melt. It's kind of warm in there. Bob Jurgens' new Pontiac. That thing was incredible. I don't know if you've ever seen any of Bob's work, but that car is just crazy. All the lights work on it. You close the doors, the dome lights go out in it. Pretty crazy. Beyond anything. It's just crazy. Some nice builds. GTO with a vinyl. Wagons. What else we got here? That's mine. Don't tell anybody. This is pretty cool. I like that. I think I've seen that at another show. That's pretty nice, though. He had a nice display. Willys, that was pretty nice. Pretty nice paint. Everything had nice paint on it. It'd probably been easier to pick out one that didn't have nice paint on it. They're just all very nice. That's different. That wagon, I think that's been there before. I think I saw that before. Again, I don't know the imports, but they're all very nice. They're really nicely done. That one's pretty cool. I like that one. 59 El Camino. I love 59 El Caminos. What do we got here? Pontiac. Very nicely done. Cool truck. Service trucks. I love service trucks. Can't go wrong with service trucks. A couple more imports. Very nicely done. Little Volkswagen pickup. Lowrider. All done up. Nice woody wagon. Early Fords. I guess that qualifies as a dunk, doesn't it? That one in the back? I'm not sure. Oh, these are the cars from the West Coast. These guys were crazy. Beautiful cars. Actually, I think that's George's car there. I think both those are George's. But these other ones are from the West Coast. And the paint on them was amazing. Just amazing. They were crazy. A couple Rivieras. I think I come back to those lowriders. I think they just, man, the paint on them was just phenomenal. Beautiful cars. Beautiful paint. Very good builders. They had this whole corner covered, and I spent a lot of time over there. After I videoed, I went back and I spent a good amount of time looking at the paint on these. I really like this one on the turntable coming up. That Grand Prix back there. I think I got, that one right, guys. That car was nice. And this van was nice too. This thing was really nice. That was one of my favorites. Just phenomenal. Considering what scale these are, 1/25th scale, just incredible paint. I mean, you're talking about masking upon masking. That might have been the one that he won an award with one of these. I think it might have been that one. This van was really nice. That thing was crazy. Crazy van. Very good talent. Love the Corvairs. They had some nice Corvairs there. They did these little things too. It's just unbelievable, the paint jobs. That was very nice. Lots of candy. 65 era, you can't beat that. I'm a little bouncy, aren't I? I need to slow my roll. But they were very, very nice paint. Very nice. He had that whole corner covered in cars. See my van? I love that van. Makes me want to build one. But I definitely came back from this show wanting to do some type of candy paint job. Not as extreme as these are, but something simplified. But I think this guy was a professional painter because he was just crazy. That was my favorite one. That and the van. The Grand Prix and the van were my two favorites. And the Corvair was nice too. I think that's Edgar's Corvair. But they were all very nice. Beautiful paint. I am a little choppy, aren't I? And let's see what else we got here. We got to go around the corner. Am I talking to somebody? I must be talking to somebody. I think I am talking to somebody. Again, I took all the sound off because you get all the noise. Oh, I think I'm talking to the guy that painted most of those cars. That must have been what I'm doing. I can't tell you what I was talking to him about, but I know I spent a lot of time in that corner. That was my favorite corner. I just being coming out of a body shop and being a painter. It's just like, when you see this kind of work, you can really appreciate the quality and the time invested in painting these cars. It's just crazy. And the quality of the builds themselves. I mean, the builds are beautiful. Very nice builds. But if they were handing out best paint awards, one of these cars definitely would have been. Oh, there he is. Mondo. I think it said Mondo. Yeah, he was very, very good. Nice guys. All those guys are really nice. Great to talk to. Easy to talk to. But they're definitely. I was surprised to see them in from the West Coast. That was nice that they came down to the show. That's pretty cool. Apparently, those little cars, that's a big deal. You see a bunch of these, and they buy them and they paint them up. I think they might be little die casts. That Riviera was nice too. I like that one. Oh, maybe that one won. One of those won. Maybe it was that one. It might have been that one. Drag racing. Wheelies. Can't go wrong. Pickup. Couple rails. Funny car. Again, I was a little early. So you can see a little bit of white space. That filled up later on. I should have waited, but I knew if I didn't film it now, I wouldn't have filmed it. And I want to at least film something. I have to make an effort on filming. That was pretty cool. I like that one. So better that I filmed something instead of nothing. And I'm bouncing around. Crazy bouncing. That was pretty cool. Mountain Dew. Firebird. Mustang. Pretty cool. There's one from a magazine. Little red wagon. So, oops. There's Matt's model colors and more. He's setting his stuff up. What else we got here? Oh, this must be more. Oh, this is a Mopar table. Is it? Or maybe this is drag racing stuff. That was kind of cool. That was nice. Everything was nice. A couple of the old AMT ones. Henry J. That's nice. I think that car was there last year. This was nice with the trailer. I like that with the trailer. Pretty cool. Nice display. This car is pretty cool. Actually, this is one of the winners. This is Brian's car. That was one of the winners. He won something. Nice display. Had a nice setup. Another bug. That was pretty nice. The little wheelies, that's nice. Always liked that car. The old Rat Packer. I think I called that the Rat Packer. Jet car or jet dragster. Yelp. That was nice. Tractor. Oops. This Cruise's mod top. This is is this the Mopar table? Yeah, this is Mopar table. So now we're looking at a couple Mopars. Again, I'm early. I apologize, but at least I filmed something. That was very nice. There's a modern General Lee. Some newer Challengers. Daytona. Nice. Old Chrysler. That's some big lights on that one. PT Cruiser. That was pretty cool. Hawaiian, can't go wrong. Darts, can't go wrong. RT convertible. This was really nice. Oops. This is Chris's Dart. That was pretty nice. NASCAR. Different. That was different. Not a car you see every day. '70 Roadrunner. 67 Charger Daytona. That was kind of interesting. Different take. There's the Long Dart. That thing was just bizarre. Tim Klankowitz. Tim's Custom. This won an award too. He's just off the wall. That thing was just nuts. Those are slant 6 motors. 6 of them. It was crazy. Interesting build. Love his stuff. I love this thing. This was one of my favorites. Just a very unusual car. You don't ever see that car. Hector's car, this won an award. This thing was pretty crazy. He had like a little glass window on the hood, and then he had a little window in the back. On the top, you could see the rear end in it. I don't know if I caught that on the video or not. But you can actually see the rear. He had like a little window in there, and you can see the rear end of the car. That was pretty cool. A lot of darts. Darts are pretty popular. That was a nice dart. I like that one. That was pretty cool. I like that one too. Scale model Outlaw. Convertible. I guess that's like a salt flat car. Big old wagon. Another big car. Again, I was a little early in filming this. Bubble top. That was pretty cool. X-Rex. That was pretty cool. He loves his bubble tops. I like that. That was really nice. Nicely done. A couple more Mopars. Wagons. Wagon. This was extremely nice. This is Carl's. This is really nice. I really like this. That was cool. That's Carl's too. I think both those there were Carl's. Actually, that might have been Carl's too. The big letter car. Again, beautiful paint on these things. That was really nice. I mean, they're all very nice. That was cool. Nice wheels. Very nicely done. He had both of them. He had that one and the Warlock. Nice dart. Or no, that's not a dart. That's an RT, I guess. Nice flame job. That was pretty nice. I like the 43. That's different. A modern take on it. Modern General Lee. Nice dart. There's Aaron's big General Lee. That was pretty cool. It was big. And it was bright orange. Did a nice job on that. From what I understand, that kit's fairly crappy, so to do a nice one, it's hard to do. It looks good. There's Tom's truck. That's pretty cool. Got a lot of work in that one, too. That was nice. I mean, even though I'm early, there's still a lot of people in the way to get around to look at stuff. And I'm swinging around like I'm gonna make you sick. That's for sure. That was really nice. I like that one. It was pretty cool. Trying to squeeze them all in. I'm thinking I'm a little too fast, though. It's so hard to film these. I hate doing this stuff. I am not good at it for sure. That was pretty cool. I like that one. Yeah, these are cool. I've seen these two before. But they're really nice. Roadkill cars. They're pretty cool. That thing was crazy. Had a boat with it. Had some mats. It's pretty cool. I like that. Crazy motor in it. Barracuda. Very nice. A Power Wagon was cool. Different, you know? That was pretty nice. I love this thing. This thing had a cool paint job on it. Really nicely done. Paint on it was gorgeous. Old school. I like that. This was pretty cool too. And a couple trucks. This is a Rambler. They're cool. I like the weathering on them. They look nice. I guess a patina, I guess they call those. That's Lewis Hicks. bugs were pretty cool. The two wagons, that thing was pretty good, pretty nice, really nicely done. And the other one behind it's pretty cool too. Nice. Crazy. Big Buick. Olds. AMX 32. Volkswagen panel. That was different. Nice paint. Nice paint on that too. That was different. Like the Nova wagon. That thing was bizarre. He had a couple that I could think, yeah, these three I think were his. 4 of them. They're pretty bizarre. Pretty cool looking. That was kind of cool. Yeah, these were all kind of cool stuff. Different, very different. And I'm swinging around. That was kind of cool. That bus was cool. I like that one. Again, everybody's still setting up. That was there last year. Rat and Rod. Nice Bronco. A little bit of everything. You couldn't find it there. They didn't make it because they had pretty good selection of cars. Different. Those food trucks, man. Everybody's been building those food trucks. I've never seen so many. They build those kits all the time. That was nice. I like that. That was really nice. That's Carl's. That's really nice. I like that thing. Good color selection too. That was nice. I think that won an award. I'm pretty sure it did. It had really, really nice paint on it. And that was nice too. Pretty cool. Different. You don't see many of those. They're Fred Henry's. That one, and I think the one on the next one beside it's Fred's. Pretty sure they're both Fred's. Yeah, they're both Fred's. They're beautiful cars. That was cool. Jaguar. Pro Street. 32. That was pretty cool. That was nice. That one might have won an award. I'm not positive. I'd have to look at the video of the awards. I didn't film the awards. Like I said, I couldn't do... I said to myself, I got to film the vendors and all the cars that I could, and then I was done. Then I could enjoy the show. So that's what I did. That's probably why I'm rushing through these. Oh, then my camera overheated because I was filming for so long. I had to wait for my battery to charge to finish the last part of it up at some point in here. That thing got red hot. That's my pie wagon. Beetle. That's kind of cool. There's my Blazer. That wagon was cool. That was cool. 48 Ford. I think that's Leonard's. It might be Leonard's 48. Easy. Slow down, Irvin. Slow down. Getting them all in. That thing was sick. That was bizarre. That was pretty cool. Old school, I like them. I like that. I like the wheels on that. Fit the car pretty nice. That one too. Can't go wrong with 32s. 40 Ford. Mustang. Chevelle. Very nice. Chevy pickup. Ford pickup. That's nice. I've seen that one before. That was nice. Mustang. Beetle. 32. 57. That was nice. That 61 was very nice. That 61 might have won an award. I'm not positive. That was nice. I might have gave it a chip. Maybe that's what it was. One of my poker chips. .32. Police car. That 57 was nice. I've seen that one before, but it's very, very nice. I'd always look at that one again. That was nice. I like that style. Couple work in progress. That's Leonard's. He was working on that. Actually, I think he stripped that and repainted it when he got it home. Open wheel competition. These guys build a lot of those things. That new kit that came out, man, you see a lot of them built. That's for sure. I didn't realize they were that popular, but man, they built a ton of those cars. Dart track cars. These are nice. Like I said, everything was really, really nice. I like these early cars. That was pretty cool. Very nice builds. Oops, looks like that might have been where my camera broke down and had to recharge. I kind of overlapped there. That's probably what I did. That was pretty cool. Very nice builds. I mean, I'm not really into those cars, but they were just so nice. Really nice quality builds. Bunch of Beetles, Volkswagens. They got them all there. That's pretty cool. The way he had them done. Like I said, a lot of guys building those cars. These are different. You don't see them. Little bumper car. That was cool. That moonshine car was pretty cool. A little still. That was very nice. I don't even know what it is, but it was very nice. One of my tractors. Another tractor. There's another tractor. It's my shop truck with the rake. There's the order rake right there. These things were cool. I don't even know what they were. Interesting design. That was pretty cool. This is nice. I think they gave that to Wes when they were done. I think they built that and then gave it to Wes when they were done. That was pretty cool. There is Wes. These are Lewis Hicks resin, 3D resin builds, those two there. That's his tractor. That's Hector's cruising van. I love that thing. And we're down to the final stretch. Ding, 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 ding. Final stretch. That little car was cool. What else we got up here? Let's see. Oh, we got a couple motorcycles coming up. Let's see if I can get around this guy. Here we go. Guess we're in the motorcycles here. These were cool. I think that's that old MPC kits. I could be wrong, but sure looks like them. Or maybe not MPC, maybe IMC. Is that IMC? That might be IMC. That was nice. Some of these are the ones with the like covered in decals. I'd rather pull my fingernails off than put all those decals on. That's nice. Very nice. Cool. Whole bunch of Porsches back there. Oh, and I slow down for the Porsches. That was a nice display. That thing was tiny. More Porsches and Can-Am cars. Demolition cars. That's Hector's. There's some more Porsches. Again, I don't know. That's a Mercedes, I think. I don't know these cars, so I mean, what details? I'm the wrong guy for that. Yeah, I really don't know what these cars are. I know what that is. That I do not know. Look at all the decals on those. Yeah, I wouldn't be doing that. I hate decals. But very nice builds. They're very quality builds. And a lot of guys like them, so that's all that matters. Like I said, you build what people like or what you like, and it's just great to see a lot of models on the table. And that might be it. Running down to the edge. I might have added some stuff on the end of this. I can't remember if that was it or if I did. Oh, I went back and got a couple more. These were Matt's. I think because he just set his stuff up, and I went back and took a look at those. And I might have went back to the lowrider stuff. I'm not positive. Guess we'll know here in a minute. Nope, that's it. All right.